Today we are going to talk about motivating your child, and this topic is very dear to my heart. Actually, I did not realize the importance of how to motivate your child till a few years ago when teachers of my daughters would ask me, "Your daughters are so responsible and independent learners. How did you do that? What all did you do that they get so high marks?" That set me thinking about our interaction with our daughters. Also, I started noticing the traits of highly motivated students and not so motivated students. The difference was clear, both in terms of academic results as well as in their behavior. The common factor was what type of parental support and guidance they were getting. When we talk about ways to help your child doing better in school or how he can improve his results, we are not only talking about how he can get high marks by studying so many hours, memory techniques, which books to study, which tutor to hire, etc. But we are talking about the holistic view, how we as parents can motivate him to study, guide him, and nurture him through this journey of childhood and teenage years so that he becomes an independent and responsible learner. Marks will follow automatically. Now, if I ask you, what is your biggest worry regarding your children? What will you tell me? And I think the answer which you have in your mind is how to make my child study better, how he can perform better in school, how he can behave better at home. So, these are some of the worries you have in your mind regarding your child. And the answer to all these questions and worries is this one word called motivation. What is this motivation? Motivation means when someone can do some work without being told. For example, in case of our children, if they do their homework without being reminded, it means they are motivated children. If you need to remind them, if you need to open their bag, if you have to tell them few times, have you completed your homework or are you going to tuition class, it means they are not motivated enough. So, to make them do to their best potential, we need to motivate our children. And why this motivation is so important? Importance of motivation? Because without motivation, not much success comes. So, if we want success for our children in their studies, at home, in their behavior, in life skills, all these things are possible if only they are motivated, if only they are inclined to do their work on their own. Now, many times the question comes how to know whether my child is motivated or not. Now, there is no standard test for that, but you can look for some of these things. And what are these things? Does he do his homework on his own or he has to be told to do that? He always wants to play, and if you ask him to study, you have to give him incentives. You have to bribe him. that if only you complete this, then I will buy you a new computer game, then you can go to the playground and things like that. Another thing to look for is whether his grades are falling. Another thing, whether his form teacher is always complaining that he does not do his homework, or he does not pay attention in the class, or bullies other children. If the answers to all these questions is yes, it means he is not motivated. Of course, there are many more questions which can also tell you whether he is motivated or not. Now, if I ask you, how many of you feel that your son or daughter is intelligent? He can get good marks if only he becomes serious or listens to you. I know many of you feel that way. Again, the answer is the same, that the child is not motivated enough, and hence he is not performing to his best potential. Now, once you know that your child is not motivated, then what you usually do when you find out that your child is not motivated enough, what we do, you constantly remind him to do homework, to which children call that mama is always nagging. Then you buy gifts for him or increase his pocket money. I had a neighbor, when his son got very good marks in half-yearly exams, he bought a new computer game for him. So that's the type of gifts parents buy nowadays. Then, whenever a complaint comes from school or tuition teacher, you scold him or cane him. Another thing, what you usually do, you enroll him in more tuition centers, because your friend says that particular center is better, that particular teacher is better, so you send him to more tuition classes. And lastly, you blame the teachers. Teachers are very strict nowadays. Don't worry, I will change your school. Don't worry, I will talk to the teacher. And we as parents keep on criticizing the school, the teachers, the education system, all of this in front of them. So this is what we are normally doing at home. But have you ever wondered why your child is not motivated? Because to do anything, to help him in any way, first we have to understand why our child is not motivated. Is it due to the fear of failure or non-performance? Or is it his low self-esteem because he's not able to live up to your expectations? Or is it that he's not regular in doing his homework, so the teacher scolds him in class? Or are you always comparing him with other siblings and your friends' children? Is he getting enough sleep, or is he tired by too many activities? Do you often criticize his teachers in his presence? Do you blame the educational system as a whole and often talk about migrating to other country? So if you're doing any of these things, or if the child is feeling the heat of any of these, then surely the child is not motivated. Now we have to understand, children are very clever and they understand everything. To defend themselves, they exploit your parental instinct, and as a result, you tend to criticize the teacher, school, or the system itself. So we have to be very careful about our words, about our feelings which we express in front of them, about our behavior, about our the so-called bribing them. So we have to be very important. We have to be very careful in all these things. Now, for developing motivation, the right motivation in our child, attitude. Correct attitude of ours as parents towards our child, towards his teachers, towards the school, towards people around us is very, very important. We have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change the fact how people behave in a certain way, but we can definitely choose how we react to a particular situation. So, in this short talk, I will like to emphasize on developing the right attitude towards our child's capability, his teachers, school system, etc. That then only we will be able to motivate him to do the required work. We shall consider some other aspects in other short talks.